right, so before we go into the first exercise, I want to talk about why people procrastinate. The most common reasons that people procrastinate. All right, you may fall into one of these categories, you may fall into numerous categories here, but let's talk a little bit about the most common reasons. All right, lack of motivation. Lack of motivation is probably I say is up there with the top three. All right, lack of motivation. You don't feel like doing it. We talked about it earlier in the previous video. If you're not motivated to do it, then why do it? What is it gonna do for you right now? If you don't get up and go and accomplish it, what instant gratification will you get? What instant results will you get? That $9,000, you come and pick it up for me, you have $9,000 in your hand right now. But if it's something that doesn't benefit you until 5 years down the road, then why do it? That's the way that a procrastinator thinks. If you're thinking that way, stop it. Stop it. Because in building your business, you will rarely see instant gratification. Everything in building your business is the long game. You're going to work for days, you're going to work for weeks, maybe months, without seeing the results that you originally envisioned in your business. So you're going to have to self-motivate. You have to motivate yourself. Give yourself reasons to do it every day. I like to use a vision board. If you don't know what a vision board is, we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the course, but a vision board is something visual that allows you to be able to see your goals every day. I have a vision board on my fridge. I have a vision board in my office. I keep my vision board available at all times so I can always see what I'm trying to accomplish, because instant gratification is so rare in the business world. All right, let's go to the next one. Lack of interest. You're just not interested in it. And you're going to find that in your business as well, because you might want to be the technician, the person that's doing the work, the person that's doing everything in your business. You're enjoying it. Say you go into business to make jewelry. You enjoy making the jewelry, but that's not the business. That's just the technician side. You also have to do the marketing campaign. You also have to do the accounting. Now, you'll procrastinate and you'll put all that stuff off. Why? Because it's not interesting. Or you might be interested in accounting, but you might not have an interest in dealing with customers when they email you for customer service. Well, if you get too many 1-star ratings on Google or on Etsy, if that's where you're selling, then your account's going to get closed down anyway, or you're going to look like a horrible business person. So whether you're interested in what you're doing or not, or whether you're interested in those tasks or not, once again, you have to motivate yourself to do it. All right, skill deficits. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. I've never learned how to do it. Well, here's the thing. In this information age, we have access to a wealth of knowledge. There's really nothing that anyone should not know. You can go on YouTube. You can listen to me talk in a course. You can go on Google. You can go on Reddit. There's so many avenues to be able to get to the information, to be able to learn what you want to learn. It's all over the place. So skill deficits is something that a lot of people will use to procrastinate, but I really feel like it's not a valid excuse at all. It's not a valid reason to procrastinate, because if you want to learn something, you can learn it. How many of us go on YouTube to learn to do the newest TikTok dance, or to learn anything? You'll go and learn the things that you have an interest in, but you won't learn the things that you need to do in order to build your business. And you can easily go on YouTube, and I guarantee you, if you go on YouTube or if you go on Google, you can type in a question in question form. How do I do this? ? And it will come back with a plethora of results. All right. fear of success and failure. And I say that because I've worked with clients that are afraid to fail. I've also worked with clients that are afraid of success. I have clients that are afraid to fail, so they won't even start. They won't even start because they're afraid of what friends will say if they don't reach that goal, or they're afraid of what their spouse will say if they don't reach that goal. And then I have clients that are afraid of success. They're afraid of growing out of their comfort zone. They're afraid of having too many clients, so they'll unwillingly and unconsciously sabotage their business to make sure that they grow no further than their comfort zone. They don't want any more than 3 clients, because once they see the 4th client, they feel like their company's gotten way too big for them, and they will unintentionally sabotage their company. All right? Stress. Yes, running a business is stressful. Anyone that tells you otherwise is lying to you. There's going to be days where you don't feel like doing it. There's going to be days where family has stressed you out too much. There's going to be days where you look at a laundry list of things to do and it just stresses you out. But you have to decompress. You have to relax a little bit, and you have to get back to it. Right? Stress is going to be there. It's going to be there in any and everything that you do. Or laziness. Let's just come out and say it. Laziness. I just don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'd rather sleep. I'd rather play my video game. I'd rather watch Netflix. Laziness. Let's just come out and say it. If you're lazy, you're lazy. Got to work on that. And we will. Lack of discipline. Now that is something that I can actually relate to, because I've had it before. I've had an amazing lack of discipline. Being able to sit down and just focus, because there's so many other things going on. Somebody comes by, hey, let's go out to the bar, or hey, let's do this, or hey, there's a new movie coming out, or hey, we're all going to hang out at the waterfront. And any little distraction would be able to pull me away from my business, would be able to pull me away from anything that was important, that I had a lack of interest in or a lack of motivation in. It would pull me away from it instantly, and I'd be gone, and I'd have a blast, and then I'd come back and realize that task still exists. All right? Perfectionism. This is number 1. Perfectionism. Perfection is the strongest form of procrastination, because we create an illusion as humans that what we do has to be perfect before we call it a complete project. And we'll hold on to it and do it over and over again, or we won't release something, or we won't move forward with something until we know all of the information. How many of us have done that before? We will not go forward. We'll sit there and tell ourselves it's not perfect yet, or I need to do a little more research before I do this, or I need to know a little more, or I'll research it, and I need to figure this out. No, you're procrastinating. You're putting it off. Get started on the project and learn as you go. Like I said, go on YouTube, go on Google, purchase a course, look for a free course, learn as you go. But as long as you stay in one spot, you're never moving forward. You can fail forward. And when you fail forward, you're not failing forward. You're just getting feedback, because every mistake that you make, you learn something from it. You get the feedback, and then you bounce back and try it again with that feedback in hand, so that way you can make better decisions. But experience is what you gain when you move forward. And you're always learning anyway. So why be a perfectionist? Don't be a perfectionist. It's always going to hinder you in anything that you do, because perfection is an illusion. There's no such thing as perfect. No such thing. As sooner you get that out of your mind, the better off that you'll be. All right? So now we have that list that we talked about, that I asked you guys to make in the last video, in our introduction video to procrastination. On that list, next to each thing that you didn't do, ask yourself, why haven't you done it? Is it because of one of the common reasons that I just asked you? Because I'm sure. So I want you to actually write down the reason next to it. Was it lack of motivation that you didn't get item 1 done? Was it lack of interest that you didn't get item 2 done? Skill deficits? Fear of success or failure? Was it stress? Was it laziness? Was it lack of discipline? Or were you being a perfectionist? It falls into one of those. It's not resources, because you could always find a way to get the resources. Alright? So don't say you didn't have this or you didn't have the money to do it. No, that's always there. You can always find that, because you could find the money to buy anything else that you want. You can look at your budget, and I'm sure there's things that you can cut out that will be able to help you afford to be able to accomplish one of those goals. So that's never the reason. It's one of the reasons that I just named. And it's up to you to have integrity. Be honest with yourself, because that's the only way this works. Be honest with yourself and write down the reason next to each one of those items for why you haven't completed it. Alright? I'll see you in the next video, and we'll dig a little bit more into procrastination, and then we'll move on.